South African doctors who were sent abroad for their studies have now marched in the capital, Pretoria, over what they say are administrative delays, which mean that they're unable to start their careers here at home. Some have been waiting for over a year to write their board exams. The Health Professions Council is also accused of not acting with urgency to deal with the issues. For more on this, we're joined by one of the affected doctors, Nomathemba Tshabalala. A very good evening to you, Nomathemba. You studied, am I right, in Russia from about 2016 and graduated in the last year or so. How have you been affected by these delays?
Good morning. Good evening, South Africa. Good evening, Tembekile. Yes, I studied from 2016 till 2022, which was last year. It has been a mental roller coaster because you're constantly waiting for a board exam and there's no board exam.
And what are you being told is the reason why you've not been able to take the exam?
The reason is always administrative issues which don't make sense, because I believe that the Health Professional Council knows about foreign trained medical doctors, and they should set like two dates in a year, making sure that there's no backlog. Because myself, I graduated last year in 2022, but there are people who graduated in 2021, people who graduated in 2020 who are still waiting for these board exams. So it really feels like we are being treated as foreigners just because we are foreign trained.
Mm-hmm. And when they say to you that there are administrative issues which are delaying you guys taking these exams, what exactly are the issues? What do they say is preventing it from happening? Apart from the general term to say administrative issues, what is the problem?
Today when we went, they spoke about their service providers, that they need to be like a medical university that we actually go to and do both the theory and the OSCE exam. So there hasn't been any understanding with regards to a medical university in South Africa.
Mm-hmm. And how's it affected you as a person? Because you came back home last year from Russia. What have you been doing with your life, and what has been the quality of life for you since your return?
Basically, my life changed from jubilations to sorrow, because 2016, when I left the country, I felt that I just didn't go for myself. I went to Russia for my family. I went for the community of Bethlehem in the Free State where I come from, and South Africa as a whole. And now I'm literally stuck with a qualification in the wardrobe that I can't use because of the HPCSA. So it has been a mental roller coaster, because I can't apply for any other job because I need to be registered by the Health Council.
And you were sent, am I right, like many others, hundreds of others, especially in the Free State, you were sent abroad to go study there through bursaries from the Free State government. Is that the scheme that you were there on?
Yes.
Which suggests that your family would not have had enough money or would have been struggling, so this was your only hope at studying further.
I actually was fortunate enough to acquire a degree before I left.
Right.
So I have a Bachelor of Science in Microbiology and Genetics from the University of KwaZulu-Natal. But I've been wanting to pursue a medical career, and you know that it's so difficult to get in medical school here in South Africa, because they only take like, I think, 200 students. So the rest, you either on waiting list or you're told to choose another course. In my case, it was BSc. But when I got the opportunity of fulfilling my dream of studying medicine abroad, it was just jubilations and celebrations. But now it literally feels that I failed myself, I failed my family, and I failed my community, because how do I motivate a young girl from Bushokong in Bethlehem about the importance of education, whereas education has not been benefiting me? I mean, I have 2 degrees, but I can't work. What is that?
And what was the response today? Because you were there was a march today in Pretoria, the capital, to go to the HPCSA, as I understand it, as well as the union buildings. What response were you met with?
The responses were the same, were about those administrative issues with regards to the service providers. But from my side, I just feel like it's constant delays that don't make sense because we've been hearing about that over and over again. And now, as the South African foreign trained medical doctors, we over 250 from different parts of the country. We have doctors from
Mm.
Mpumalanga, doctors from the Free State, doctors from KZN, doctors from Cape Town who are unemployed.
And Nomathemba, I don't know if you're aware, but the problem that you're dealing with as far as the registration of foreign-trained doctors is not a new one, because if you just
Mm-hmm,
Google, for example, there were articles being written about a similar problem all the way back in 2014. That's almost
mm-hmm,
10 years ago. And
mm-hmm.
as things stand, you guys are having a similar experience. Are
Yes.
people losing hope? Are your fellow graduates feeling as though perhaps it's time to go back to school, study something else, take another job that's not in line with your qualification?
You know, there's a saying that you must fall 7 times and get back 8 times. So we really tried to knock on every door, asking for assistance with regards, but it came to a point that the history of this country reminds us that there's one language that the government understands, and that is a language of marching. Like if the youth in 1976 never stood up for being taught in Afrikaans, we'd probably be still taught in Afrikaans. If the women didn't march for the pass laws, we wouldn't have Women's Day. So we took it as an initiative as a South African foreign trained to make a difference
Mm.
because we're not just paving a way for us, but we are paving a way for the doctors that are coming after us because it's ridiculous that how can we be treated in this manner whereas we were funded by the government? It does not make sense. Most of us were funded by the government.
So we have on this show often ministers, people who are officials in government,
Mm-hmm,
including the health
mm-hmm,
department, who come onto the show, who watch Newzroom Afrika. If
mm-hmm,
you were to get an opportunity, which I want to give you now, to address
mm-hmm.
them directly, let's say Minister Joe Pahla, even President
Yeah,
Ramaphosa, the head of the
yeah.
HPCSA, speak directly to them about what you're feeling and what you want them to do for you.
Mm-hmm. I don't have any problem because today I was mentioning that President Cyril Ramaphosa, we urge him to intervene because it's ridiculous with the shortage of doctors in South Africa. One colleague of mine actually mentioned that there's a ratio of one to 1,000 patients, one doctor to 1,000 patients, which is ridiculous. And some of us are just sitting at home with qualifications that are verified. We did not go to fly-by-night medical universities. Our qualifications are verified by the ECFMG and the HPCSA knows. So it's just ridiculous that why is there a constant delay?
And if and when all of this is resolved, what sort of work do you want to do within the medical field?
I would like to go for medical aesthetics. I believe that this is a new era where people want to better their looks. So if there's a way medically, then why not go for it? Because people are just concerned about how they look and it's boosting self-confidence.
Nomathemba Tshabalala, good to speak to you. A South African who went to study medicine in Russia on a government bursary, who now, a year after returning from there, is yet to take a board exam. The HPCSA telling her and others that the issue is to do with administrative glitches or problems, and that is why some have been waiting since 2020 to take the exam.